Hello and welcome everyone to this Elite Series 2nd Division broadcast here on Rift Entertainment. We're at week 4 of the circuit and tonight we will see some nice games, and for that I have by my side none other than QG. Welcome QG.
Hello, Luik. How are you doing? Oh wait, I need to bring my flash up. Oh,
Ooh,
yeah,
yeah, I've got a light here, but it's not
yeah.
very
You are.
strong, so I need to adapt. But yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm also good. I'm kind of tired, but I put in some more energy drinks to keep up the night. And I'm hyped to see the games, Luik.
Oh yeah, big games
Ooh.
ahead of us today, and maybe we can immediately take a quick look actually at the planning bit, because I also can't wait to get it out. I think we looked at the schedule for today last week already um, together, but we're starting off really strong with Rift Sloths going up against FULLCLEAR Esports. I would say the most anticipated matchup of the split, as it is number 1 versus number 2 clashing against each other finally. And I mean, we are in for a nice game for that for sure.
Yeah, win for banger, Luik.
Yeah.
We're in for a banger.
And we'll be following up with a German gang going up against Next, which should also be a pretty well equilibrated game. Maybe the chance for German gang to grab a second win, as they already got one last time we were on. Followed up by Dynasty versus Once Upon a Team, who have finally been able to lift their curse of no wins, already grabbing 2 for this split, and with that actually standing on equal grounds with Dynasty. And last but not least, we have Aurora versus Pertinax, the chance for Pertinax to climb up to 3 wins and in the upper echelons of the split.
Yeah, and we also have a new thing starting today. And what's that, Loic? Can you give us insight?
Well, we have sat together with, well, I would say other broadcasters and also the players to bring something a bit special to you starting this week. We will be doing player interviews after every game. So we'll have the one player of the winning team come over, join us for 1-2 quick questions, since, well, we kind of still need to stick to the schedule that's planned. And yeah, that should give us some more insights on what they thought during the games and maybe what went on in their head, because that is always a bit hard to understand what's going on in the shoes of a player.
Yeah, and also they can give us more insights, and we can learn a bit of them. And also it gives a bit more professionalism to the second division scene. Because yeah, we have interviews. Maybe we get some other stuff in the future, and maybe we get a studio someday if we do good and the entertainment is going up. We are getting promoted too, so it's all good for the scene, I think.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
And also our questions have to be good because
yes, that will be. We'll have maybe chat if you want. Put your questions in chat, and maybe we'll use one of these if we're not inspired. But yeah, we'll have to think of some good questions. The hard thing is if the game is close, sometimes like the result changes from 1 second to the other. Like one fight could completely change what you expected, and then you'll have to think of new questions for the other team. But I think we should be able to manage that, shouldn't we?
yeah, like the Rift Sloths games, the last that I casted at least, they were a bit behind early, and then they came back, and the whole game changed, and yeah, you think, okay, this scene could be a good thing to ask about, and then the whole game turns around, and you have oh this is better, and then oh this is better, and then you're like, okay, I have too many questions. What do I pick now?
So yeah, we hope you pick the right questions so that we can get some interesting answers from the players. We will be doing one for each game, of course. We always have to see with the teams if there's one of their players that's available to do that after the game. If they have a camera, microphone, that's not too bad, and if they are like comfortable doing that, answering questions for the stream. So it's not always possible, but for today we do have one player for each matchup. No matter how they turn out, so every team has someone that's ready to jump in, answer a few questions for us.
Yeah, and that's actually good. I think it's you also, if the camera is available, you also see some faces to the players
Mm-hmm.
that so you can associate them with a body and not just a champion or a role. You have a face, you have a voice, and that also sells better to potential interest from other leagues higher ups to see, oh, okay, um, the guy is playing good. The questions are the answers to the questions are professional. Maybe we could get them into our team. The professionalism is there, the gameplay is there, and it just fits. So it also gives the players a good
Mm-hmm.
insight on what they can do.
I mean, especially since the logical step, so to say, after a second division run is a first division run technically. Once you get there, it starts like it ramps up in terms of professionality. I think on their broadcast they have like images of the players. You need to put yourself out a lot more when you want to make it in the scene. So definitely an opportunity for the players to do that. But Gigi, I would say let's go back to today's planning for a bit. First game, FULLCLEAR esports versus Rift SLOTHS. I did mention a bit earlier that they were currently first and second of the division. Haven't played against each other yet, so it's a first we're going to see. Statistically wise, Rift SLOTHS should be in there as a favorite, but who knows? Only one loss on the side of FULLCLEAR esports. That's very, very strong as well. I mean, second place in general, overall, they show great dominance, so I can't wait to see how they will handle the SLOTHS.
Yeah, and we jump into champ select directly, and the problem against FULLCLEAR that I see in a strategic pick and ban phase is these mains they have, like the Hecarim, the Mundo, and Gallup also showed it last week with the Mundo again. He is a threat. He knows how to get ahead, and Mundo is just like Frashtana said, it's a stat beast. If your stats are higher, you win every fight, and if you're ahead early, you can actually win these fights because you're ahead. And there's the Hecarim ban and probably the Mundo ban too. Maybe they have a counter against it, but Kindred is banned. It could be one of them, but there the Mundo is gone. So two bans into Gallop, and there was also a third.
There's Lost Lunia, who is really, really strong on Kled.
Yeah.
He's played him a lot, dangerous. Now is the question for that kind of pick. I mean, the Mundo is like absolutely unorthodox. It's not something you see in the jungle every day at all. Hecarim, yeah, Hecarim currently really strong in general. Kled is a classical top lane thing, so maybe Lax knows how to play against a clan, and that is maybe a ban that they can save themselves for something else. For example, yeah, Emilio currently still really, really strong. Always contested, I believe, since it's been activated here in the ESLOL. So,
yeah. Strongest support. With Yuumi, I think still on 13.11, so I still think Milio and Yuumi are very strong. One of the strongest, so they are getting nerfed in the next patches. And there's the answer to the Milio is the Zeri, because you don't want Zeri Yuumi. And there is the Aphelios first pick, also one of the highest AD carries at this point. So FULLCLEAR can look, do we want an AD carry and support directly? Do we want to go for the Sejuani or the Maokai here? Because these picks are actually the strongest in their lane. And there's the Kai'Sa. Oh, and there's also LeBlanc. We still need to take care of the static shift.
Yeah, static shift still. I mean, we're still on patch 13.11, so nothing's changed from last week. Still really, really threatening, fresh out of the oven, you could say. But yeah, I was actually gonna say I expected something like a Jinx, Zeri, most picked AD carry, I believe, here in the ESLOL, or most contested at least. Followed up by Jinx. And Adafla has been playing those so really good. Ooh, that's
aggressive. That's an aggressive bot lane. It's a long time I didn't see Heimerdinger, but against the Aphelios and probably an enchanter like Lulu or Yumi,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty good. It will probably win you the lane. You have like these the towers that you can control it, and there's also the Maokai. I talked about it before. I think Shredded played it almost every time.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember Grizzon has 100% pick rate on Nautilus, and now they didn't pick support. They took the Victor, and there's also the Kled for Last Lunio. So the supports are still open.
Mm-hmm.
The top lane is open for the rift slot. Yeah, and for full clear it's the jungle and it's mid lane. But they can flex
Yeah,
Heimerdinger
Heimer
into mid lane
could be
too.
mid lane, so
Or they flex the Kai'Sa into the mid lane. You never know. They have like two um, flex picks right there. Well, the Kai'Sa was played into a counter against LeBlanc in actually in the LEC. And now the Rift Sloths are banning Lissandra. It's good against Victor, and Full Clear is banning Lex out because they don't want to
yeah.
him on a duelist that he actually normally plays, like the Fiora and the Jax. It's good for him. Also, these are good picks against Kled because it's easy to predict the stun from the Fiora, and there's Rek'Sai out, one of these also very strong
Oh
jungle.
yeah.
Yesterday it got played as support in the Division 1,
Oh really?
and they actually won that game. I only saw the first gank attempt, and I didn't see the full game, but I saw that the team won that played it.
Rakes are really strong right now. Stradbrick. And yeah, we have
There's just
Zinzao probably for Galop. I don't think we've seen Zinzao yet in the ESLOL. That's definitely a newcomer here on the Rift.
we saw him once,
Once? Oh.
and yeah, didn't Aurora played him last week on Wednesday, I think. But let's see what Adaflar. Yeah, there's a Nautilus, still 100% pick and
Win rate.
win rate.
I mean, logically.
Yeah. Never change a winning bot lane.
Yeah.
But against the Heimerdinger, it's hard. He can drop a turret and you just hook the turret instead of him. So if Skyunch has a good reaction time, he can actually save a tower and then go. Oh, and there's a lot of engage for the Rift Sloths. Again, these go buttons are there.
Yeah, they're definitely going on the go buttons here. You have the Maokai, Nautilus, Gna, I mean, just terrific start for a team fight. And especially champions that are really good also at keeping enemies at bay. I mean, they're really good at peeling, which is excellent for an Aphelios. He can get in there, do the damage he needs. Victor is just fine as well. So that's already a pretty solid all-around go button comp we've got there, as you've put it. Side of FULLCLEAR esports, we're going to fill up with an Ezreal, so probably indeed flexing that Kai'Sa to the mid lane, as you've said, and we have Sky Ownage on the Heimerdinger.
This is an interesting draft. The Aphelios will have a problem with range because oh no, they're sending Ezreal mid lane. Yeah, then it's also probably a static shift Ezreal. It works, but I think the Kai'Sa can has a better how do I say? There's better scaling with the static shift because she can buy Nash's Tooth.
Yeah, she buys those AP items with which it scales.
She can and doesn't lose that much damage. Ezreal lose a bit of damage if you go for the static shift, but the poke you do with Q is pretty hard because you get like extra 150 damage or so. And then you go a Sheen item, and then the Q poke is really strong.
That's the thing. Yeah, the Q is gonna trigger the static shift. That's a big advantage.
That too.
It doesn't need to do an auto attack necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the range is higher to still clear the wave, but you have to get to the static shift first. I think the Victor's going to poke you out behind the minions, because he can just laser through the minions
Yeah.
and just poke you a bit. And then if you trade with him, he has a shield, and you just have a dash, and you're normally squishier than him. But the items you're building are, you don't have AoE actually in the Ezreal Victor matchup. So before static shift, your wave clear is trash. It's bad, and the the gank potential from the Xin Sao is also hard, because it has to full engage, and the Victor just puts
Yeah, the
the slow
gravity
field
field and
down, the
it's fine.
gravity field down, and then just walks away, and Xin Sao can't do anything. He just flashes.
I think we're gonna have a very pokey mid lane in all the cases. And for both junglers, it's hard to gank. I mean, yeah, Maokai does have the simple point and click route pre-Sigs already, but I mean, it's still Ezreal's Arcane Shift is like one of the best abilities in the game. I mean, it's a little cooldown flash. So he's gonna be pretty safe as well. And as you've said, he can still stay more or less at range if he sniffs out danger.
Yeah, but I think Rift have more go buttons, so they are actually ahead of this. They have like 3 go buttons, and Full Clear has, if I count right, yeah, they have 2. They have 2.
Yeah, okay. You can't Zinzao
The Hamid, yeah, Xin Sao is not the real
engage.
go
Yeah, I
button.
mean, he's just, but he can initiate stuff. I mean, the Kled ulti, obviously.
Yeah, and the Heimerdinger ult E, also
Right,
the
right.
triple nade, you can engage with that. But it's hard to engage with a W Xin Sao, because you have to hit it first, and for the other champs you just have to hit it once. Your Q with Nautilus, your ult also, and yeah, you have that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for them to initiate. And we'll see how that goes as we head it in the Summoners Rift, dear viewers. Rift Sloths versus FULLCLEAR Esports. The top of the ladder finally clashing here at ESL 2nd Division. And it looks like Rift Sloths are not here just to dilly-dally, as they're all heading towards the bot lane to maybe have an early catch.
Yeah, they are looking for it.
Be careful. There we go.
There's a
That's the
tower, as
turret,
I
as
said.
you said. Yeah.
And there's the 10 gold for Grizzon. And for Ardaflar. And yeah, it's just, oh, they're going again.
Going again. No turret this time. The hook does land, and we flash behind him. The root is setting. Skionich really low. Has to flash away, but does survive. Meanwhile, Shredded did also flash, but he's a Maokai, so it's not as problematic as for the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, and the flash is out, so that's good for the sloths.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
since
they-
their own bot lane still has both flashes, so they can be really aggressive right now.
Yeah, but Maokai doesn't have flash, and Beacon used teleport to get into the mid lane. And they're stealing the blue buff, so they're splitting the map here.
A great reaction from FULLCLEAR's topside players. Punish that play as well as it works.
Yeah, but that's actually not good into this meta, because you want to play around bot lane, and if you give the Maokai the bot lane,
Especially
it's hard.
since Heimer has no flash, but that's the question.
Yeah.
Can Shredded allow himself to go into the enemy jungle as he pleases? I mean, Zhao is still a really good duelist. And if he wants, he can probably try to deny Shredded's trespassing, so to say.
Yeah, but the 2v3 is stronger. The 3v3 is stronger for the Rift Sloths. They have more CC. The Heimerdinger has more damage, but if you can just lock up one person, the damage doesn't matter. And there we see Shredded is here.
Hook does
the
land
Q
this time
lands.
around on Nomad. Now we have the root from Shredded. Beautiful Q from him. Damage is falling. First blood goes to Ardaflar, and they keep the chase going on Skionich. Flashless on his Heimerdinger. Gets really low under the turret. Survives. He's able to get some nice damage out on Grizzly, who's barely survived that.
Yeah, and what did I tell you, Loic? I said the it's focused around bot lane. Shredded does just the right thing, and Gallop is coming. Gallop is going to look for cleanup, but the sapling is slowing him down, and that's what it.
With Nomad coming back in, Woods given FULLCLEAR's favor. But yeah, in the end, Gallop also immediately rushed to his own blue buff, was able to push back the rift from further pushing down upon Skyonage. So,
yeah, and FULLCLEAR looks nervous. Mihir does ease in, is low, and then he just has to flash out because the victor would stun him, and that's hard.
And he still plays really well. And as you said here, he can poke Mara really, really well. And especially, I mean, he kind of puts a barrier. He puts a zone where Mara can't step without like risking taking too much damage, forcing him to stay further away and, well, use his abilities to get damage. Using mana, now we have the gank from Shredded, and the damage is completely insane. They should be able to pick up the kill, going to Bakan.
Yeah, and again, there was no flash on the Ezreal, so they could just walk up, wait for the mistake to happen, and like the Sloths do, they always punish these mistakes very hard. And
yeah, absolutely. That sets them really well because now mid lane first kill. Now the hook lands on the bot lane again. Nomad still no flash, no summoners gets rooted. We have Shredded joining in, ready to root. The enemy AD carrying damage from out of lanes coming in. A kill goes to Gryzen, unfortunately. We keep the push going upon Skyonage, and that's the second kill for the bot lane of the Rift Sloths, going to Shredded.
Yeah, the delivery didn't work. I think it was the dot or something killing the Kai'Sa, but a kill is a kill at this point. You still get the assists, and you see the map is splitted. The Sloths are totally in control of bot lane, and these tanks just enable the Aphelios. He can do what he wants because yeah, they are engaging, and the Xin Zhao can't do anything about it. So if you split the map, you actually have to play differently at the bot lane. And now they just swapped because the Ezreal is safer, and now they are going back.
Importantly, they were gonna lose the whole wave there because nobody was able to take it, so he picked it up under the turret. Now, yeah, they switch back again. Same situation was going on mid lane, actually. Rakan was gonna shove that lane into the turret. Yeah, definitely in control. And meanwhile, yeah, top lane, it's classic top lane gameplay here. Although Lost Lunio is putting a lot of pressure, he's gonna tower dive Lex here with both flash out, far away from Magagna. Ooh, nice dodge from Lex here, and Lost Lunio will barely survive because of the level up.
The level up and Triumph got it there. It was almost clean, yeah, but Lunio has Ignite, Lex doesn't have, and he just popped out of there's the flash again.
We have the aggressivity, the W roots. Skyonage falls at the hands of Shredded again. Unfortunate circumstances for an AD carry to be sitting 103. But as you said earlier, a kill is a kill. And especially now Nomad is alone.
Yeah, if Maokai gets these kills, he can take them around the map. He isn't the one that is dealing damage, but if he has some items, he can tower dive at different places better because there's more health, more defensive stats, and so on. He already has the cooldown boots, so there will be more saplings inside the jungle of Gallop, just for a little pokey poke.
Yeah, and I mean, Maokai's damage is also like not negligible. He can, like, he doesn't have that much cooldown on his abilities. And his Q can still hurt, especially in earlier stages of the game and in very late ones. So it's not too bad to get him slightly ahead. I mean, they can leverage it, as you've said. Even Vision is now tough to control for FULLCLEAR here in the Tribush.
Yeah, and the thing you also have to look at is Gallop is now level 6 and Shred is level 5, so ganking is that much is not, you don't bring yourself ahead, you do it to your
Yeah.
teammates. You give them you give them an edge. And they're shredded his bot side again, and now level 6, and if Grizzin hits the next hook,
They're
they will
just
get it,
going
but
for
they
it
are
here. We
just
have
going
the
for
ultimate
it.
going in. The hook is free then, and with the root, Adafla can easily do all the damage he needs. Nice flash from Nomad to dodge the ultimate, and well, consequently survive that situation. But they're really low under the turret, and nothing is going to stop Shredded from trying to tower dive with his bot lane.
No, why should anybody? Our Defler is so strong with these two other tanks that he can't be.
Yeah, here on the mid lane, the situation. We have the Maelstrom coming in. The stun barely still hits Mere as Bukan puts out a lot of damage. Shredded joining in with the flash to root him and secure the kill as well.
Well, Shredded.
But that's one Shredded 3 right there.
Yeah, that's one Shredded 3. Well, like a beefy one.
Yeah.
That the hook.
We're gonna turn.
Yeah,
It
that
works
was
really
probably
well.
the
Nomad's
mistake.
really low, however, has to be careful as Ardafla is ready to pull out the damage. The root is gonna sit. Sky Owner just in the way. Very tense situation here on the bot lane. This Grizzin also is really, really low.
Oh, this was close for Nomad. This is also greedy, but they probably know that Maokai is top and that Lunio is. They're preparing the dive now. They are not. It's hard to kill a Clad on pet. And
Yeah, with the Gna on the
see.
turret, whoever gets the stun on the wall, not on the turret. Some nice damage on Lost Lunio. Yeah, a good Clad is gonna get the mount back super fast as well, so.
Yeah, and it's hard. If you're this close to dismounting, you can actually dodge a lot of damage. If you put your burst a bit too early, you just lose. If you have 15 health on Kled and your burst does 200 damage, yeah, you lost 175.
Yeah.
And Kled can then win the fight again because he's
Now
also still strong.
Shredded coming in to kind of tip the scales, but with his own ultimate, Lost Lunio is able to flee.
Yeah, and you're unstoppable in the Kled ult, so you can just escape the Maokai one.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rift Sloths are totally in control. They're 3k ahead. And this already looks good.
Yes, definitely. Maybe we can take a look at player gold. But I believe that we're gonna have some nice. Although Gallop was very diligently farming ahead, is ahead in terms of farm, and very important, he's very far ahead on his stacks for the smite, which is also really, really important as a jungler. Shredded hasn't been much in his jungle, hasn't been able to smite all too many jungle camps, and that could actually long in the soonish be a problem for the Rift Sloths if objectives are starting to be contested though.
Yeah, and there was the hook block I talked earlier about. And still in control, the crits hurt. Ardafla is going for the Kraken here. I will do so much damage if he has that.
Asluni here finding some aggression upon Lex, who takes a lot of damage, albeit being in a Mega Gna form. We're gonna get the Gna against the wall with the stun. Dismounting Lost Lunio, now jumping away, throwing the boulder. Both. Now, around in small forms. Now we have Gallop going all in on to Shredded, who had Nature's Grasp out. Bukan joining in from the mid and gets a lot of damage on Sky Onich, who falls at the hands of the mid laner of the Rift Sloths. Meanwhile, the rest, Ardafla and Grizzin, are gonna go upon Nomad. Don't get him killed, however, as Gallop comes in but gets really low. Is able to double kill in one E. Ardafla and Grizzin, putting full clear once back in the game. Shredded now is forced to flee from Mary, and Nomad is able to get under the turret in time, but this is really bad for the Sloths as FULLCLEAR gets back slightly closer to their enemies in terms of gold.
Yeah, and the Hydra lifesteal with the damage just saved Gallop there, and just killed Grisen. And our Darfler yeah, one skill actually, the burst. Oh, and also clutch that Nomad just jumped over the wall with the Kai'Sa ult to get him out of enemy territory. Oh, this was just a clean team fight.
Yeah.
Wow, that was, yeah, a bit of overconfidence from the Riftsloths, but it's not that bad. They're still ahead. They're not that ahead anymore. They just came back, but all the goal is on Gallop, and the first tower is also going to fall soon.
Yeah. Already at the last plating, but I believe that FULLCLEAR also got quite a few. I think they got 2 platings at bot lane turret. Pretty good. But now without platings, they do a lot of damage to that turret, and they should be able to finish it off, taking up first turret, and gold coming in with that as well. Gallop decides to go on a spree here. He's going to keep counter jungling a lot. Now he's 3-0 himself, able to contest Shredded by a lot actually in terms of items and gold, since he had really neat CSing going up to now.
Yeah, and Gallop is really the one to fear on FULLCLEAR esports. If you don't know where he is, you probably have a problem because he's going to burst you. He now went for the boots and is going for the Blade of the Rune King to get extra more lifesteal. He wants to carry this, so he goes full damage. And it's not a static shift. Ezreal.
Yeah.
But
Next now
the gank here.
1v1ing Mera with the Gnar, gets him against the wall, and the CC is enough for him to pick up that kill. Shredded was there, did throw the ulti out in case Mera would go back a bit earlier, but he didn't in the end. And
yeah, but FULLCLEAR got the Rift Herald for that, so that's map advantage for them. And also again, the farm is so high on Xin Sao right now. Yeah, but with the Hydra he can just do what he wants.
yeah, I mean his clearing
no
speed is
objective.
now going through the roof.
Yeah, and also you will see there's the Kai'Sa static shift. And also she's going for the Nash's 2 second, so we were actually right. They have some wave clear.
Yeah.
Look how fast he is.
Yeah,
The
I
next
mean,
camp.
he's gonna be a real problem to the Riftsloths if they can't stop him in his tracks.
Yeah, but if he dies once, the Hydra damage is going down, the AD is going down, so you are not that strong anymore.
Yes, I think it's really important that Riftsloths now try and find a good opportunity to take him down. I mean, he is, as you said, the main threat on sides of FULLCLEAR still. And he is playing really aggressively here on the mid lane. We have the catch on Sky Owner, should not be able to flee from all that
hook,
CC.
man. Yeah, and there Beacon just uses ult to clear it out. And there we have the gold graph. Everything looks fine. Well, Gallop is only ahead 1k.
Yeah.
And the rest is kinda even, and also Ardafla is up for 2k, so this looks actually evened out. But it's better to have your gold on Ardafla than on Gallop because he's just an AD carry, and Gallop has to.
In situation
Just has to-
here's the
oh,
root
and
sits on
there's-
Gallop, and a
there
lot
it
of
is.
damage falling out. We could use all the abilities we can to get the damage out on him, but he survives still for very long and is able to flash away. Now the rest of FULLCLEAR is in. Sky Ownage is gonna fall, however, so does Shredded. As for now, 1-1.
Nexus here, Mega Gnar.
Now coming in indeed.
He has flash.
Now setting the Herald on the mid lane. That should allow them to take the turret without too much issue. Drake is also spawning, so now is the moment. This should define who gets that objective. Tier 1 on the mid lane is falling. Gallop rotating towards top side. Does he get a second charge? No.
No. And that wave, I'm so happy that today, or actually, yeah, today they nerfed that crap.
Yeah.
Because that's so obnoxious. Now we will have the dragon taken by FULLCLEAR ESPORTS, and it will be a 4v5 with Skyonage coming from behind. He can probably... Oh, and I think he's dead.
Yeah, nice turret though to stop the grab, but he's not gonna survive that as Lex picks up a kill on him. Riftsloths now decide to fall back. Too dangerous fight there because they have quite a few low members.
Yeah, and that doesn't matter. They got the Drake, it was worth it. They're on soul point. And also the soul is also good for a lot of their champs.
Kai'Sa. Ooh, the hook on the Kai'Sa here, rooted on the turret. Lex picks up the kill.
Grizzin with the Hack Flash over the wall. The easy Q on Nomad. He doesn't have mana and then just dead. Also me here. Still on one item. And has the cull.
Careful. Ooh, nice dodge. Both players. Well, right there. But yeah, definitely FULLCLEAR here sitting on the soul point. And that's the thing, I mean, he was so far ahead in terms of the jungling with the smite. Gallop leveraging this advance that he had really well to pull the team back in favor. If you consider 1k gold for Drake, FULLCLEAR is currently well ahead, be it being far behind in kills. And yeah, this is looking really good for FULLCLEAR right now. They've been able to wrestle themselves back on top for this game. They also have currently 2 turrets down versus 1. The Riftsloths are having a hard time to deal with Gallop, who's currently really, really strong.
Yeah, and Gallop still didn't die. He's the Hurricane, the Hydra stacks still up. But Ardefla has the poke combination, green and white, and that's also good for some objectives because you can easily get these chakrams up. Grizzin is looking for aggressive plays.
Yeah, you can see here.
Engage.
The Riftsloths stayed together. Very nice use of Nature's Grasp, by the way, just turning the enemies away from that turret. Free turret going to them. They pick up the second themselves. However, FULLCLEAR reacting, going for that tier 2 on the top lane already. And yeah, 1 turret for 1 turret. Equal at once.
Yeah, and I thought this would be bloody.
Ooh, hook landing
yeah,
here on Skyonage. Shouldn't be able to survive for too long. Flashes over the wall, but yeah, he's gonna die at the hands of Grizzin with Death Charge. But Gallop now in a bit of a complicated situation, getting like chased by Lex here. Pretty good at chasing. Grizzin joining in now, a lot of damage falling, but we have the Mega Gnar. Gnar falls out. That's a shutdown going to Lex. And yeah, Riftsloths now can take the opportunity. They start to start Drake. They have 2 members up, with 2 down of FULLCLEAR ESPORTS. And most importantly, I mean, Gallop down, no smite for FULLCLEAR ESPORTS. Now we have to counter engage from Last Lunia coming in with the charge, but he loses the mount real quick. A lot of damage falling, and he is dead. Nomad goes in deep and gets the kill on Bakar. That's a shutdown going to FULLCLEAR ESPORTS. You know, Riftsloths go back, finish up Nash. A really low Grizzin there.
Grizzin almost dead. Oh, and Nomad is still going with the poke.
Nomad on top of his, like, what, 100 HP.
Yeah, and it's also do you know the ARAM Kai'Sa build where you play full AP and then just hit some Ws because you get cooldown reduction on your W if you have more than 100 AP, and Nash's Tooth just gives you 100 AP, so you hit that threshold with 1 item, and then if you hit someone you get 3 stacks and your cooldown is reduced by a lot. And me here is just getting pushed off this turret. Yeah, and you just can poke and poke and poke, And there's actually the comp. You want to poke with Kaisa and Ezreal, and then engage with Kled.
Yeah, yeah. It works
And
rather
then
well, actually, but they were just in a numerical disadvantage there.
just look at the side poking. Nomad always hitting, putting out like 200. Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, Lex now going in. We have the stun. Lex is unstoppable, picks up the kill on Nomad. Gallup now a bit too far behind here between Riftsoft's members, but yeah, they don't go too far upon him. But FULLCLEAR Esports now one member down, and that's an unfortunate timing because Drake is spawning, just spawned actually, and that gives Rift actually a really good ground to kind of contest it. Now Gallup decides to go in, tries to pick up the kill on Grizzon, is able to do so, but dies himself in the process. And yeah, that Drake is going to be Rift Sloth's first for this game.
Yeah, that's not soul point. That's not soul for FULLCLEAR. It also helps a bit with the slow and the movement speed you get outside of combat. Maokai is already fast, so it will be faster. So yeah, and Lex is going for full tank. Triforce into full tank, because he knows I'm only here for
Tank.
a good time, not for a long time.
But when did be the contrary then?
What? When did you what?
Wouldn't it be the contrary then? I mean, if he goes tank, he's there for a long time.
Yeah, but is he there for a good time? He's just there for the CC. I think Beacon and Adafla are doing the rest.
Yeah, yeah, in that sense, sure.
Yeah, therefore he's in there for a good time, not a long time. Yeah, if you stun a lot with the Gnar and your team just kills the enemy, it's not for long.
Gallup decides to engage upon Lex with the Gnar against the wall, gets the CC, and a lot of damage from Gallup initially, but now it turns around, he might be able to get the kill. No, Lex gets it. Barely though, barely.
Yeah, I think that was the level. I can't. Yeah, you can't lifesteal against the Thorn Mail. You damage yourself with the Thorn Mail because of the Thorn Mail.
The grievous wounds.
And yeah, the grievous wounds too. Reduce your healing. And it was close for Gallup. So
yeah. He was able to dish out a lot of damage until the change CC of Mega Gnar. I mean, but it's disgusting, right? He gets one Gnar in, and then stun, and then boom, boom, boom. Keeps on going.
Yeah,
He lost Lunio getting caught a bit in the jungle of the Rift Sloths. He's gonna be forced to charge to get away. He does find a connection to Bakan. Might be able to take him with him. No. Damage of the Rift Sloths is too big. And Bakan barely survives the Ignite as well.
Yeah, like half a second more and Latlunio used the Stripe Breaker to damage everyone, and I think then Beacon would be dead and it would be worth it, but there are no objectives, so this is just a how would Baus describe it? Not a good death? It was a bad death, if you tell it in Baus words.
Shredded here getting caught. Amara and Skyonage, but Shredded survives, and with his teammates joining, FULLCLEAR is not going to push back in. And something just fell. I missed.
I think the bot lane tower fell, so
right.
It was actually a good death. Yep. Got 300 gold off that death for your team. I take it back.
So, Baron in 1 minute. First Baron had already been done. Now the second there might be the next objective teams are looking at. The Riftsofts already have started to put the vision around the pit. Pushing in the middle lane, hook goes Ori. Top should also be pushing, looks like, on the minimap. And they simply have Laxia keeps pushing on the bot lane. TP is up, he could join at any time. Ooh, the hook lands here. A lot of damage falling on Gallup, and yeah, he's trying to get away, but Adafla is able to chase him down. Pick up the kill. Now Skyonage just gets flashed in by Bakan.
He's getting owned.
also dies, and so does Nomad as Shredded, who's able to already put some damage in him. FULLCLEAR Esports now 3 members down, notably their jungler. Else leaves SLOTHS ground to do quite a lot. They're going to take that top lane turret and even go onto Mara. Is he going to be able to flee with Sun? No, and the damage of Ardafla, goddamn.
Yeah, he has 3 items. He has the Bloodthirster and the Kraken Slayer, and also the Gale Force. And I think this is. Do they anti? No, they don't want to anti. I think they are now preparing for Baron. No, they just want to back and probably go for the soul.
This Drake is going to spawn in 20 seconds. Yeah, if they just leave the Drake be, that's solved for FULLCLEAR. That gives them an opportunity to get back into the game. I don't think SLOTHS want that, so they're gonna indeed rush towards it. They are currently back in the game. They currently control it once again.
Wait, he is... Okay, so... FC, they don't prioritize the dragon. The SLOTHS know that now. And Gallop isn't there. Can he get over the wall to
there with the root, but it's slow. He gets the Baron, and the fight ensues. Last Lunia already really low. Is gonna die just like his teammate Gallop. 3 last members of FULLCLEAR Esports are able to make some distance in the meantime, however, and flee the fight. But SLOTHS still 5 members up are gonna push them in beautifully, I think.
Yeah, but was this worth for FC? I don't think this was worth.
In the end,
lost both Lunio.
Yeah, they lost their whole go button actually, essentially. They're not gonna be able with Sky Ownage learning he doesn't even have ulti. They have no way of pushing SLOTHS back here. And all they can do is poke right now. But they're gonna keep it up. They can take a second Drake now, as Drake is up. There's still no contest from FULLCLEAR Esports. True Shot Barrage coming in rather early, since they did the crap first. Then yeah, they're in for a reset. Must have quite some nice pocket change in their pockets right now. Keep game going.
Yeah, this looks not good for FULLCLEAR. I think 25-7, but there's only, and I say it, there's only 4k difference, or 5k rather, and they have almost 20 kills more.
You know what it is? It's the 90 farm discrepancy between Gallop and Shredded.
Yeah,
a completely insane difference. But yeah, Gallop here getting caught by Lex. I don't think they wagered a 2v2. I mean, Magigna is up indeed, and Bican is just behind. They're gonna keep the push going. Of course, the wave's slightly harder to kill because of the Baron buff still up on Nomad. But with their, they have 5 people there, numerical superiority, plus they're ahead in general, they're gonna keep the push going. Meanwhile, top and mid lane, they push naturally because the inhibs are down. And we can see on the top lane already monstrous wave coming in.
Yeah, and the SLOTHS already pinged that, so they know this is too. They just gonna stay on bot side, and someone has to go top or mid, and Last Lunia is going top. He doesn't have TP anyway, so he can't join. The wave, they don't have wave clear. They have only the Kai'Sa, but if she gets into range, it's
now mid lane the wave has penetrated the base, so they need to kind of focus on that to clear that. They're able with the turret, however, to keep it up. Shredded is gonna drop the ultimate now in order to clear some ground. Yeah, that works really well for them to go on the turret. Gallop decides to go in to push them back for a bit. They're able to clear that wave. Turret is mid-life, however, they pick up the kill on Nomad. Now Last Lunia coming in with the charge is going to get some nice damage out on Lex. Gallop joins in, they pick up the kill against Shredded, but with the insane CC of the SLOTHS, Ardafla picks up the kill on Gallop and keeps the push going on Mera. Is going to flash over the wall even to get the mid lane. And FULLCLEAR Esports, they can now push in that wave on the mid lane. And top lane, in the meantime, has arrived at the level of the Nexus, and I think the SLOTHS are able to finish it off with that.
Yeah, and that's game. Uh, it still doesn't look like it, but yeah, FC. I think they look nervous. They couldn't keep up with the Rift Sloths here, and I think the Sloths did what they were best to. They even ended with a 6-6, a triple six gold, it's they are the Devils. You just saw it in the end screen. The gold was the Devils number. They are just the Devils. Um, yeah, and this is this is good. Um, Rifslovs, they are still on their winning streak. They didn't lose a game in the first half. That's pretty important to come into the second half. Now they know, okay, we can beat every team. We don't need to change anything, and you just have these little things.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, after this game where Rivslovs showed that they still stay unbeaten in the summer split, at least the first half here at the ESLOL second division, even against the second here in the placements, we are going to interview a player, as we've announced earlier. We'll have, thus, player of the winning team Rivslovs coming over, and I believe that should be none other than our hook maestro, Drizzen. We're gonna wait for them to tell us if he's ready and invite him over. Until then, okay, I believe we're good. We have the interviewee joining in, so let's get to it. Yes. All right,
Hello.
welcome, Greason.
Hi, nice to be here.
Hi, nice to have you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I'm very happy that we managed to beat all the teams in the first round. That is a good feeling, and I'm proud of my team.
Yeah, I was wondering actually. Now today you played against the second of the placements. On paper, they should have been the best contender to take a win, maybe against you. Was there maybe extra nervousness going into that matchup? I feel like at the start there was a bit of like slow going. Were you maybe a bit nervous as a team to go up against them? Did you prepare a lot and so on?
I wouldn't call it nerves, but there has been a specific tension in the team because we know that they are very aggressive compared to the other teams. So we really have to be prepared and go into a mindset of, okay, we will not take the bad fights even if they look good. We'll try to be really smart about the game, but I think it backfired as well at the second Drake, I think, where they kind of got a little bit back into the game, and that is what we wanted to prevent throughout the whole game. But luckily, it only happened once.
Yeah, and Grizzin, what is with your Nautilus? Do you think people are going to ban it because it's 100% win rate?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a meme now, right? Like, I've only played Nautilus, so, I don't mind playing anything else, but if I see a good Nautilus angle, I will pick it, and I think that I have a lot of experience into the Heimerdinger. Usually Heimerdinger is good into it, but right now with the new support items, it's just so easy to have inbuilt magic resistance with the new locket and how they build now, and then I'm just going on a bit of a monologue, but I feel very confident on the pick. If it's open, I will most likely play it, but we will see.
So I guess there's still a few hidden support picks you're well on. We don't have much time left, unfortunately. So one last question is, how do you feel for the second half of the split? Do you think you can keep going with that winning streak, or do you think that maybe there might be a team that can like pull the needle out of the game?
I think that we can definitely lose to any team, and I think it would be very naive and cocky to say we're gonna go undefeated. That is, of course, a motivation, but that is not the main goal. The only priority is to promote to first division, and that is still the goal. And we respect every team, and I don't think that we're necessarily better. I think that we are just more consistent in the clutch moments where it is required.
All right. So you'll keep the training going to be ready top of your game against the enemy teams. Thank you for your time, Grizzin.
You're very welcome.
And well, have a nice evening, and you can enjoy the stream, of course, if you want to see the other games. And glad to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, with time up, we're gonna go to a break in order to, well, catch a breath, catch a drink, and we'll see you guys very soon for Game 2 of tonight. See you soon.